welcome to our Wednesday food freedom discussion. I am Hannah Hips, and Sierra Spencer will be hopping on in just a second. So thanks so much for being here. If you are new to the group, welcome. Every Wednesday, me and Sierra go live, and we talk about food. And today we're talking beyond the food because we are seeing this link, and this is what we do. Is connecting what's happening, like the cause of what is happening with your relationship with food. So we're going to dive in. Super excited. Hey, Sierra.
Hey.
All right. So I just introduced what we were talking about today.
Awesome. So yeah, a little bit like you know what? Like, yes, Hannah and I specialize in eating psychology and mind-body nutrition and diet recovery, weight neutral coaching. Hannah specializes in yoga. And, this is a lot of stuff about food, but you guys, I'm willing to bet that the problems that you are having around control, feeling out of control, feeling worthy, feeling confident and good enough, don't have everything to do with food. Okay, which is why, yes, we know a ton about food, but also why we know a ton about the mind-body connection in psychology. And we have a lot of training in how to coach people through different traumas that they've experienced, like diet-related traumas. We have lots of tools to help people with even like childhood stuff that's come up with eating, because a lot of people deal with how their parents grew up, diet mentality, diet culture, so we are trained in going deep. And that's what we want to talk about today is that it is deeper. You've got to go beyond the food. I was talking with someone yesterday on the phone who was interested in our program. And, we were talking about how it is so much deeper. It does go beyond the food. And, he was like, well, can I just see my therapist, or can I just go see a therapist? And I just want to be super honest, because this has been coming up for us a lot, is therapists are amazing. Like, yes, like therapy is great. It's past based. So meaning that if there's things from your childhood that you feel like you need to work through, that's great. And what we do is we specialize in coaching, counseling, teaching, meaning we help you go deeper to truly heal. We actually have a lot of people that come to us after they've seen their therapist because their therapist didn't quite know how to get to the deeper rooted food stuff. And again, I want to say, like, yes, it's about food, but really there's so many connections that don't have to do with food, like being able to trust yourself and knowing that knowing you're worthy can come out in food as a way we control food, but it's not always about the food. So other diets and health coaches and therapists don't typically work long term because they don't address the root causes of your issues. And like I said, have specialized training in eating psychology and diet recovery. And unfortunately, I saw a therapist when I was struggling with my different eating challenges and eating disorders. And, unfortunately, my therapist was just caught up in diet mentality and diet culture too. She thought, I just remember her saying, like, well, you just got to have more willpower and really stick to it. And I was just like, that it just wasn't the answer, right? And again, we're not saying we're saying therapy is amazing, and we're saying we can help you with some of these deeper rooted things too. So in today's episode, go ahead.
Because what we do is, we focus on nutrition. This is half the story. We are working on getting your body out of the survival response, out of stress, right? You've been dieting, your body's in this physical stress state. So yes, we focus on nutrition to help your body get out of this stress state. The second half of it is focusing on you as the person, your life. What is going on in your life? Are you having marriage issues? Are you having money issues? Do you enjoy your work? Is there family dynamics? What's the family like? Are you a parent? All of these things are going to reflect on how we handle our relationship with food. Oftentimes, when things feel out of control in our life, we don't have a handle on them. We don't know what to do with all of these emotions in this one specific area. We try to control what we can, which is most likely food. Well, if I can just control my food, if I can control the way my body looks, then everything else in my life is going to be so much better. When
Mm.
really we have to work on what is not going right in your life. You have to focus on it. Just like as emotions, if you keep pushing it down and suppressing it, it never goes away. It just like keeps getting louder and louder and louder. And this is, our body is always talking to us constantly. So if we're having dis-ease or disease or any kind of pain or element in our body, that is a sign that your body is out of balance. That's it. It's out of balance. And we often think as like the physical things that we need to fix and change. Well, I need to fix my diet. I need to change this. I need to work out more. Yes, do all of those things. And also, majority of the time, if you're having any kind of pain or disease in your body, it has to do with an emotional connection, either not feeling your emotions or you're suppressing your emotions. And this is what we work on in our programs, is to help you begin to feel your body, because when you are dieting, you are not feeling your body. You are disconnected from your body, and it's about coming back, getting to know this physical self of yours and becoming friends with your body so it can begin to ease that stress state and
Yeah.
help you feel more. And then you can begin to start looking at other things in your life that you've been afraid to touch into, to look at. You're going to start like moving in, leaning into all the areas of your life that you've been avoiding and distracting yourself with food.
Yeah, that's so good. And I wrote this down while you were talking, Hannah, because I think it's like what we wanted today's episode to really focus on is like why going beyond the food is essential to healing your relationship with food. We have to focus on not just the food, we have to focus on what else is going on. And the more it was like why trying to control yourself in dieting is actually backfiring, because it's a cover up. Food is usually like a coping mechanism for covering up something. And for me, I just want to give you my personal story. I was dealing with extreme anxiety. I hated my job. I thought that it was what I was supposed to do. I thought like, this is it. I went to college for this. Like I paid a ton of money. Like, why aren't I happy? But I didn't realize the unhappiness in my job and the anxiety I was feeling. I didn't have the tools to deal with that. So what I did was I hyper focused on my diet. I was like a perfect eater. I had to lose the weight. I had to be toned. It's like all this anxiety and unhappiness in my job, I didn't actually deal with. I just like put it onto food. And I thought I had a food problem, and I did. There's a lot of things going on. This is not just like a one shot answer here, but you can see that this is multifaceted, which is why it's hard to do on your own. It's hard. Like I wish I would have had someone all these years ago be like, Sierra, this is not about the food. Because I was obsessed with food. I thought if I was just more in control with food and I dieted even harder, that like my life would just be, once I was thin, I would just magically, life would be easier. Guess what I did? I got thin. I lost a bunch of weight. And it didn't help all of these other problems, because I didn't realize the connection. And that's why coaching, and that's why what we do in our programs kind of not only is going to help, not only are you going to feel a heck of a lot better with food and eating and your confidence, but you're going to see how this really ties into every area of your life.
Yeah, because it does. It does tie into every part. And it's like as you begin to work through your emotion, like through your emotional eating or your relationship with food, you're working through this relationship with yourself. And then you're working through this relationship with life, right? Like where are you fighting life? Where are you fighting yourself, and where are you fighting food? If you're fighting, like however you eat is how you're showing up in life. So just think about that. How we eat our food is exactly how we're living life. So think about if you are rushed, you don't really care about like sitting down for a meal. You rather just, you have a ton of things to do. You got to do this, you got to do that. And you're just running around like crazy around food. That is how you're running around everything else in your life.
Mhm.
You're like, I don't have time for that. I got to do this. I got to do that. And you're not necessarily focusing on anything. So when you begin to focus on the food, and this is what me and Sierra teach, and this is not like a sales call or like live, but we just want to be like really clear on how we work with people. So once you start focusing on slowing down with your food, that's one of our principles, right? Slowing down, being a little bit more mindful with your eating. Once you start to do that, you begin to slow down in other areas of your life, and everything begins to like just unravel in this beautiful way. Because I always say, when I started to focus on my relationship with food and actually like have a better relationship with food, I realized that I started to have a better relationship with life. I was more curious in my life. I was more like interested in like, oh, well, that doesn't feel so good. Like my marriage, my relationship doesn't feel so good. What's going on here? I see myself using food because I'm not willing to speak up for myself. I'm not willing to share how I feel. So instead, I'm using food. And I was able to like recognize that. And as I was like, okay, I need to learn on how to speak up for myself. I need to speak my truth a little bit more. The more I started to practice it, and yeah, it's uncomfortable. Dealing with emotions, dealing with parts of yourself that you've been avoiding is uncomfortable. But once you get into that uncomfortable and you sit with it more and more, it becomes less uncomfortable, right? You're able to kind of move through it a little bit better. And as I became to speak up my truth a little bit more, I stopped using food so much to numb myself out, right? Do you see how there's such a link in everything that we do? Nothing in about our relationship with food, nothing about our emotional eating, our stress eating is separate. It is all connected to everything else in our life.
Yeah, so huge. And, you know, on that note, like we have some really special news. We are going to be doing, I feel like it's related. And I'm like, because we want to help you rewire your brain around food. We want you to help you rewire these patterns so that you can speak your truth, like Hannah, and you can like actually get to the bottom of the root cause of this unhappiness and this not having confidence in yourself and not being able to trust yourself. We want all of that for you. And food is a beautiful journey to do that with. And we're there for you every step of the way. We have processes, all of these things, right? So we want you to be able to rewire your brain and find food freedom so you can start healing beyond the food. And because of that, we have some very special gifts for you. We are going to be doing 12 days of Christmas. So starting tonight, we're going to be giving, so tonight's going to be a welcome, an introduction to the 12 days of Christmas. So you're going to want to watch that to find out more. But every day for the next 12 days, starting tomorrow, we're going to be giving you gifts for you to use, tools, tips, tricks, journaling prompts. We're going to be giving you gifts for the holidays to use so that you can have the best holiday possible, and feel confident and empowered around food. Christmas time, like, you know, the holidays, whatever you celebrate can be extremely stressful, especially with family and traveling and foods and sweets. And like, oh, I remember this was probably one of the most stressful times of year, because I was planning my diet for January, right? So it was like, oh, there's just so much. And we want to give you these gifts to help you get through some of these challenges around this time. So stay tuned for tonight where we go. We're going to do a little video that's going to be posted tonight to tell you about all the details of the 12 days of Christmas, with all these little gifts. So we're really excited.
Yeah. So we'll see you tonight for the first day one gift for you. And yeah, we're excited for you. We are excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much for being here and being willing. Like the first part of healing, the journey of healing is like we have to be willing and open-minded to look at the root cause of what's happening to really help our well-being and our health. So that is really me and Sierra's mission, is to help you get to the root cause so you can start living the life that you truly want and be the person that you want to be, that you've been hiding behind this mask and hiding behind food of who you really are. And what we want to do is help bring that out more. And we want to, I think we're going to start diving a little bit deeper into our talks with you so you can start to express yourself in a different way and begin to link what's happening in your life, your mind, your body, your mental, your emotional state, and really begin to open it up and expand and heal them. So
Yay. Well,
we will
and
see you tonight. Thanks for showing up, guys.
bye.